All right, we are in the Halton Services courts this morning, and we are here for Regan. Justice for her, as they have not given justice at all. Basically, the man who ran her over and dragged her body for 50 feet did not even get any criminal justice. So we're here to make sure that he gets what he deserves, because it's not fair that this would just slip through like that. And of course, if it was any other person and potentially not an animal rights activist, this wouldn't have happened. So the fact that this has happened to an animal rights activist of ours who, was a beautiful activist who had been doing this since 1977, we're here for justice for her, and she deserves it. She deserves it. The same way that we amplify the voices of the animals, we're here to amplify her voice now. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to ask people's tags. I've already done you guys at the dairy, so I'm not going to re-ask you your tags. People are going to be like listening to the same people all the time. Like, wait, I know this person's tag already. No, well, you said because you don't even have, I think it's, yeah, exactly. Social media and stuff. And that's what I said. I was editing the dairy thing yesterday, and that's exactly what I said. I was like, oh, Christine, I know I haven't really seen you lately. You're like, I'm off all. I'm like, well, at least everyone's going to know who you are.
Yeah, it's better for my mental health to be off all of that stuff.
Oh, man, I know. It's pretty insane, eh? It's pretty insane. Okay, I'm going to go around. I'm going to ask people's names and social media tags so people can recognize you, and I would love to know why you're here today. So tell me.
Sure. So my name is Sujin.
Sujin?
I don't have a social media tag.
What?
And so,
no Facebook, no Instagram, no YouTube, no TikTok?
Actually, you know what? I do have Facebook.
Okay.
Last name it's Libération.
Okay.
Liberation.
En espagnol?
C'est en français.
Ah, c'est en français? OK. Libération. OK, parfait.
OK.
Moi, je suis québécoise. Je viens de Montréal.
Très cool. Okay.
Ouais. Puis ma première langue, c'est le français. Donc, quand tu as parlé, mais tu dis libération, puis ça, c'était plus espagnol que français. Libération, c'est français.
Oui, c'était ma deuxième langue.
Ah, OK.
Oui, je pratique très souvent.
Ah, OK.
En tout cas, so the reason that I'm out here today is to stand in solidarity for an activist that has had her life taken away intentionally, and let's face it, she was murdered. And I can't sit down and let that be. Murder is not acceptable in any circumstance, and it's wrong for me to just sit down and say this is okay. So this is my way of showing support.
Thank you so much, Sujan. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I'm not going to go and interrupt their conversation. Jacinta, can you please give us your tag, social media, Instagram, everything that you have, and why you're here today?
At Jacinta Vegan Gal on
Jacinta
Instagram,
Vegan Gal on Instagram.
Twitter, on a health page, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and my name is Jacinta McDonald.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell us why you're here today.
I can't not be here. What happened to Regan is completely wrong. It's immoral. The charges are absolutely ridiculous. Well, the charge is ridiculous. I don't know why they're hiding the videotapes, the name of this person who killed her. Yeah, it's just so wrong, and I really hope that justice is served eventually. I don't know what's going to happen today, who knows, but it's really wrong. If this had happened to anybody else, he would have been charged with killing her.
Yeah, criminal charges.
He used his truck as a weapon, and it's completely it. Yeah, it should have been criminal charges. So it's very, very strange what's happened, and very suspicious, and just a cover-up. I see it as a cover-up. And so I think it's very important to be here and show them that we are not going away. What happened was wrong, and the family Regan's family needs closure and respect and decency for a terrible crime.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much. That was very heartfelt and very true. It is a cover-up, and it is very unfortunate that they would hide, the tools or the proofs from us, right? Like the fact that they took that video, the fact like they're trying to hide so many things
Right.
that it's clear that there's something wrong, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's very clear that they're hiding something.
yeah, 100%. Thank you so much, Jacinta. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Do you think I can ask you your name and your social media tag and why you're here today?
Yes,
Please.
absolutely. Look,
Yes.
I'm Robin Magder Pierce. Sometimes I go by the name Rocket.
Nice.
And I was a very good friend of Regan Russell's for years. And also, of course, her beautiful husband, Mark Powell. I'm here because it's a travesty. This absolutely should not be in a traffic court. It should be in criminal court.
Yeah.
And we're here to let them know that it's not acceptable. And I hope she knows we're here in
She
spirit.
knows.
And probably many around the world as well, because she's a movement.
Absolutely, and she's touched so many people's souls. And I agree. Like, I know that she's here. I could feel her. So
Oh,
thank you so much
excellent.
for that.
Thanks for
Thank you
doing
so
this.
much. Okay, same for you. Please tell us your name, your social media, Instagram, Facebook, anything you have, and why you're here today.
Thank you for asking.
Of course.
I'm Dina Elieff, and I'm that on Facebook and Instagram. Animals are persons.
Animals are persons. Yes, love it. Great
So,
tag.
Thank you. And we're here representing what happened to Regan Russell. For her loved ones, her family and loved ones, and for her activist family, and to help people understand that the charges need to be changed. We're looking for criminal charges under the circumstances, asking for a videotape to be shown to the public, to the family that recorded the incident. So we're discussing that, and would like everybody to know that hopefully you do the same. If it was your loved ones or you, what justice would you want?
Yeah, well said. Thank you so much for that, Dina. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, Lori, so beautiful. Look at you. All right. Can you please tell us your name and your social media tags, Instagram, Facebook, and why you're here today?
I'm Lori Croonin. I guess social media is Miss Vegan Warrior.
Yes.
And I'm here today, hoping that Regan gets justice for what happened to her.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. And it's that simple, right?
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much for
welcome.
being here. And for bringing all of the stuff, too. I was exactly wondering that if we were
Yeah,
going to
I
have
know,
some
I'm late.
stuff. Oh, no, don't worry. It happens. It happens. Okay, got them. They're coming. I'm not getting peed on them right away.
Pleasure to meet you, Greg. Good to meet you too. So, the is not even taking place today. Oh, is it not? And if it is, it's going to be virtual and spoken to. Now, the other thing I just want to cover off is the differences. Now, absolutely, are you filming me?
Yes.
So the other issue we have to discuss here is the differences between private property and property where you're permitted to peacefully gather and protest. Okay. Now the city is getting an official position. Generally, those areas are like sidewalks. So you're actually all on private property at the moment. I recognize it as incredibly peaceful, and but that's the position we now face. So if you give me. Are you the one person today that I can communicate with?
For all intents and purposes, yeah.
I don't own this property, of course, the municipality does, right? So what they advise me has to go, and I'll give you all the information that I can and that I have.
Okay.
But we must act reasonably and within the law. Of course. And again, I suspect that is what's going to happen. So can you just give me about 10 minutes or so?
Absolutely.
I'll come back and liaise with you, and if you could share that information with your friends.
Absolutely.
And fellow protesters as well. Again, please understand we recognize the right to peaceful protest. We certainly do. We also have to recognize property lines, plus also the safety and security of an operating courtroom and courthouse. I can tell you though with certainty, nobody participating in this case is going to be on site here today.
Yeah, no, we,
Okay.
just, so you're fully aware. We were aware of that. We were told today's the day of the first court date regarding this matter. And so this is the only building that we know of that's for traffic court, and we weren't given any information in spite of our polite requests.
No,
So
absolutely.
here we are to,
And the virtual world has made it that much more difficult.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So what may end up happening here is we may find a spot that's safe for us, for you, for those that are actually coming here. To manage the provincial offense notices they've been issued by the police.
Yeah.
It still has to. We still have to be able to provide access to the building and counter services.
Of course.
And unimpeded.
yeah, we're not going to impede any of that. Yeah, we're just
Right
here
on.
to
The other-
make sure that
the other thing I need you to-
someone's here to represent Regan.
The other thing I need you to be aware of is where there are employee secure areas
course.
and more public. So I'm assuming most of the folks here are parked on site over here? Okay. So let me just go clarify the position of the city. You and I can have a conversation about that.
Okay.
And again, it may be a case where we have to remove
Of course.
those that don't have official court business from the property. But again, we recognize certainly and support the peaceful protest tradition of citizens. and
Appreciate
community
it.
members. Okay? Does that sound okay?
That sounds okay, sir.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Thanks
was
for
your name again,
patience.
sorry?
Craig.
Great.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and your patience.
What was your badge number, Craig? Sorry.
It's PLAT, P-L-A-T-T.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Right on. Thanks.
Not a badge number.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking. But anyway,
Where's your badge? Where's his badge?
I don't know. But that was a weird
I mean,
answer.
I forgot
I'm
to
also
look at
very curious if he even knew why we were here. Do you think he
Oh, they
understood?
knew. No, they knew.
He-
why we
yeah,
were-
eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we were,
They always have their. I should have looked at his shoulders to see what stripes he had on his
Yeah,
shoulders.
yeah, yeah.
Just
Yeah, I
the
mean, they
beat
know-
I want to take.
Oh,
They know
yeah.
why we're here. I don't think that there's any illusion there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, the miscommunication sometimes is incredible, right?
yeah.
Safety is very important.
Well, we're here today to represent my stepmother, Regan Russell, because nobody is representing Regan Russell. Today is a traffic court violation, which is the Crown versus a driver, and in no uncertain terms, we were told by the Crown there is not somebody here representing Regan. She is effectively just, as my dad would have put it, collateral damage in an incident. And, you know, that's not fair to Regan. She hasn't been justly treated in these charges that have been laid. And, you know, we've been polite, we've made our position known, and we were told not to reach out to the Crown until the 27th for an update. So here we are hoping for an update. What his court case is going to be, how long it's going to take, and whether they'll consider laying additional charges, criminal charges, as is appropriate in this matter.
Take us back to when the incident actually happened a year ago, just so everybody kind of has it fresh in their mind.
Yeah, June 19th, 2020, Regan was at a demonstration in Burlington, Ontario regarding Bill 156. She was protesting for hers and her friends' right to stand up for the animals, to and freely have their right to protest and express themselves, as the bill makes the activities that they were undertaking illegal, so to speak. And as far as we know, based on the information that we've purposefully sought out, she stepped out into the crosswalk with her hand in the air, and the trucker accelerated, hit her, killed her, and he drove home that day. She didn't.
My understanding is he only was charged with a traffic violation.
That's right. He only received a traffic violation, in spite of the fact that holding a license, a higher professional license, means he's held to a higher standard than the rest of the public, and by default almost is, should be given a criminal charge. It's a dangerous driving charge. He failed to operate his vehicle with in a professional manner, without a reasonable amount of due care. He killed someone. That is dangerous because of the license he holds and the vehicle he drives, and is not merely careless.
Why do you think that it was just a traffic violation and not a more serious charge?
That's a question that a lot of people have different opinions on. Even my dad and I might differ on why they may have done that. I personally feel it's a bias against Regan, that she was a protester. This is a truck driver They're taking a position that she put herself in harm's way, and so, you know, they're giving a light charge to the driver and putting the blame on her. We don't know that, though, because they won't tell us what their position is, because it's a matter before the court.
And also, it sounds as though the state's proceeding is being done virtually, not in person, but remotely.
That's right. Today, the hearing is merely to set court dates and expectations for the accused, and that, for all intents, it should be done digitally. But we weren't given any of that information. We were told not to bother the Crown until today.
And the purpose of everyone here today?
Is to be here representing and standing up for Regan. She doesn't have a representative in the courtroom today, so we can at least have a handful of her representatives here, you know, making it known that we don't agree with the way things are going, and we don't agree that this is merely a traffic incident.
Anything else like that?
Anything else like that? The justice system in this country is quite broken, and as the victims of this crime, by extension, we have been left without support, without help, and we have had to scream at the top of our lungs till we're blue in our face to get any kind of information or any kind of respect from the system that is supposed to be working for us, for Regan, and representing Regan today. But as we've been told, it is not. It is a business, and they need to save time, so it's a traffic violation.
Can you spell your first and last name like David Williams?
Joshua Powell, Joshua Powell.
And your relationship to?
She was my stepmom.
And sir, I'm sorry, my name's Sean, I'm from CTV.
Hi, Sean.
If I could have a few words with you too? Sure, that'd be great. And I'm just going to turn you guys both this way towards
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
On the spot. Thanks.
Yeah, that was good though. Wow, impressive. You're very well spoken, by the way.
Thank you.
And it's not easy, right?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get it after.
All right. So what am I doing?
And you're looking at me, Mark, not to the camera. And we'll just have a little chat. So spell your first and last name for me, Mark, please.
Mark Powell.
Yep.
M-A-R-K.
Yep.
P-O-W-E-L-L.
I'm just going to bring this in a little closer to you. So Mark, tell me about why you're here.
We came to the courthouse today because we had word from the Crown a few weeks back that today was the first day the matter was being heard between the driver and the province. We weren't given any more information than that. In fact, we were told no need to contact them until after today for an update.
What's your take on the charge that the driver's facing versus with?
My take on the charge to the driver, until something this tragic happens to you, you expect the system to charge accordingly for the crime committed. And whatever the offense might be, you think they've got it. But when this happened to us, we were sent into a world that was quite unfamiliar, and it was a whirlwind of activity and information coming our way. And once the charge was announced to us a few weeks after Regan was killed, we learned enough to understand that what had happened was not a traffic ticket. And that's what they've written this guy. He went home with a traffic ticket like you and I would.
Take us back to the day when the incident happened. What did your family go through?
Well, of course, it was a drop to your knees moment when the news came in, but not just for me, but for her best friends too. And the call trickled from the scene to me through friends who were contacted, and one of my best friends showed up to tell me.
Pretty tough.
Pretty tough, and she said we should go. And I said they didn't tell us where to go. They didn't tell us what hospital to attend. So this isn't good. I'm sure she's gone.
What would you look to happen?
So the next move was, Regan's not here. We need to go to her parents. So our first move was get home, get to her parents, and support them. And we're going to have to tell them what happened.
So the purpose of here today, I know it's being held virtually, but what would you ultimately see happen?
Today, from what we've learned about the system, today is merely an introduction. And it was put to us that it is merely an administrative date. Those were the words. I get that. It truly is administrative. And it may just be another day at the office for the Crown Attorney, but it's the first day after 454 days without Regan. It's the first day we can really speak in front of this courthouse and represent Regan. It's not just another day at the office for us. So please change your language when you're speaking to this family. This is serious to us. They'll defend themselves. It's serious to them too. But it's every day for them. It's new to us. And this happened to our Regan.
And quite some time ago.
And it happened over a year ago. We understand COVID played a role in delays. But don't hide behind COVID. If this charge, and it can be changed, the Crown Attorney has it in his power at the stroke of a pen to disagree with the police, the Halton Regional Police's investigation. He can look at the evidence and he can say, I'm sorry guys, I see this as dangerous driving, not careless. And at the stroke of a pen, he can put this where it belongs in a criminal court system. Then, maybe Regan will get some representation. And I'm not saying they know what they're doing, but it is their world and they seem to be in control of it. So to get some voice and to be heard in their world, sometimes you need to show up and not be told it's merely administrative, stay home, call me later. I'm not that guy.
Thanks for your time. Anything else like that?
I'm happy to see Regan's friends and supporters here. I asked and they showed up. She asked and they showed up. Thanks.
Thank you.
I've seen you before.
Excuse me. Sorry. Mark, do you want me to? I
Yes,
was a witness
Lori.
there today. I'd be happy to answer any of your
Yes,
questions.
please. Lori was standing with Regan that day.
Okay. Lori, could you come a little closer to my mic, please? So, I need your first and last name, please, Lori.
My first name is Lori. My last name is Croonen.
Spell them both, please.
Lori.
I'll get him to
Last name is Croonen, Croonen.
Tell me, you were there that day.
Yeah.
Describe to me what it was like.
Well, we've been doing these vigils for many years, and that day was like no other in the summer. It was a very hot day. The pigs were in a lot of distress, and Bill 156 just passed. And Regan called me that morning and said, "This is ridiculous. These pigs need us there to tell their story, and we need to go." So we went there. We were bearing witness. There was 20 trucks before that. They all knew the drill. We'd ask them to stop for 2 minutes and we'd give the pigs some water. In fact, the trucker right before, the one that killed Regan, he actually stopped, got out, talked to me. Regan at the time was actually bearing witness to some of the pigs, and he got out and he said, "I get why you're here. Like, you're just showing compassion." And I remember me and Regan kind of smiled and said, "Okay, like, I mean, we're not against these truckers. Like, we're just here to show some compassion. These animals are going to go to their death." And then we were just about to leave, and a truck came up, and we said, "Okay, let's bear witness again." Regan we have a marshal that stands in the front of the truck so that the other activists are safe. So that was Regan that day for that particular truck. And he stopped, and 5 of us went. He was at a complete 100% stop. And the 5 of us, 6 of us went, and we all gave water to the pigs. And then we count, for 2 minutes. We don't want to hold up the trucker too long. And when the 2 minutes was up, we all got to the sidewalk. I honestly wasn't looking over at Regan, and I just heard him gun it. He put his foot to the metal. Like, I never heard a noise like that ever. And I immediately shouted, and he just ran right at her.
It must have been a really really tough day.
It was absolutely horrendous. And when I ran up to see if she was okay, and I knew she wouldn't be, like I ran up there, he dragged her. Like he didn't stop. Like how do you hit someone and not stop? And when I got to the other side to see if she was okay, he didn't get out of the truck. The only one that was there was the security guard. And after all that, like I thought she's going to get justice, because usually when someone gets killed, it's not on surveillance. The slaughterhouse had 100% of her killing on video. So I was like, this is terrible what happened and everything, but at least she's going to get justice. Like, I mean, they took all her statements. We said exactly what happened, 6 witnesses. She's going to get justice. And then when it came up with careless driving, not even a criminal charge for taking out this beautiful woman.
What you witnessed was criminal.
Exactly.
You were there. You're the expert. You know when a truck... the witnesses of the day, you and the others, are the experts at that spot. You know what you heard was unusual.
Absolutely.
Who better to understand if that truck was gunning it and could use that language?
Yes.
But someone who's there all the time.
Yep.
And that was an unusual event.
Thousands of trucks over since 2015. I've been there. Like, I mean, it's the truckers are just like every other human being. They don't want to hurt anyone. They slow down.
Yep.
Maybe don't like what we're doing, but they respect our lives enough not to put them at risk. So whatever the circumstance, I don't know what was in his brain. I don't know that. He can say that. But what I know was that was criminal what he did. We were there. He stopped. We were bearing witness. Why did you gun it? Why did she not have a chance? Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah. A couple of things to follow up.
Go ahead.
I have a statement today on this significant day, the very first day that the driver that killed Regan Russell is going to see court, virtually or otherwise. And it's from the founder of PETA, Ingrid Newkirk, a powerful person in the animal rights community and around the world. Everyone knows who Ingrid Newkirk is. It took a lot before whom he recognized as worthy of respect, and a long time before police discrimination was exposed. And regrettably, both those issues are at issue in this case. Regan Russell, a kind and peaceful woman who was standing up for those with no rights at all, was mowed down in cold blood by a man whose impatience cost her her life. And her death cannot be treated casually. Let justice be done. Ingrid Newkirk, president of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And what Ingrid leans into, impatience, mowed down, cold blood. I wasn't there that day, but impatience, cold blood, mowed down, what Lori witnessed. And it's horrible. But what happened to Regan happened when she was doing something that she was passionate about. And that has to be recognized. That if you are passionate about something and you take a stand against the government of the day, you're allowed to do that in this country, but you should leave your house in the morning, make a sign, take a sign, hit the streets, and you don't get killed for it. That's not Canada. You don't get locked up for speaking your mind, for speaking against the government, and that's more or less what happened that day. Regan was speaking against the government of the day. Doug Ford's got a few questions to answer in my book about Bill 156 and why Regan was standing there. And I'd love to have that conversation with him. And this Crown Attorney, the office of the Crown of Halton Region, Doug Ford too. They got to remember, the world is watching. The world is watching. This police department received phone calls the next day after Regan was killed from Los Angeles Police Department. That's been confirmed to me by this police department. And they said, what are you guys doing up there? Why weren't you there? Another question. The police were there and they left. They left. It's just unbelievable. All the small circumstances surrounding what happened to Regan add up to a crime. It really is a crime. And one thing that the family is asking for is that security video that shows Regan getting killed. Show me the events of the day. They've got it all. They won't show it to me. They said, but Mark, we've seen it. It's very horrible. Are you sure you can see that? You sure you want to watch that video of Regan getting killed? My response to the officer was, I see it every night in my head when it hits the pillow. So what's the difference? Show me what really happened and I'll stop imagining things. And they won't show it to me. We saw George Floyd. Come on. They didn't take the driver's cell phone that day. Didn't even look at it. Said we didn't have a right to do that. And yet we've got a court in, I think it was Brampton recently, where the driver's blood and urine was taken of the driver, and his rights were violated in that act by the police department. But he had just killed somebody as a traffic fatality. And the judge felt the seriousness of the crime. He said, I'll reprimand the police department all day long on the gathering of evidence and the violation of someone's rights. I'll do that over here, but I'm including the evidence. So why didn't these guys just have the fortitude to say, okay, it might be a black mark on my record one day, but I'm taking your phone, you know, just secure it when we had it, and then give it back if you were wrong. They didn't take his phone. They didn't download the truck's computer that day. And the truck's onboard computer would have told the story about what the truck was doing, how fast he was going. Would have told them all kinds of stuff. They made no attempt to download the truck's computer. They don't have that as evidence. They didn't take his cell phone. And they didn't perform a breathalyzer on the driver, even for his own good, to say, hey, you're clear. So there are a lot of things we've got questions about, and we're here to represent Regan today.
Guys, so I've been made aware that the city has asked us to remove ourselves from the property. So we got to go stand on the sidewalk, and we got to move our vehicles out of the parking.
Can we gut it? That makes me sick.
I just have to get some shots of you guys.
And I love the mayor of Burlington.
Do we want to try and put that in the, I guess?
Hey, no,
Yeah. What's the big banner? Oh, the Justice for Regan Russell? Yeah, let's do that for sure. Who wants to hold the banner, I guess?
Yeah, see, look at 10 meter one.
On and on and on.
I already made the argument.
Sorry, I'm trying to hold it there. I'm trying to do a few things at the same time.
It's okay. I take care of it.
Okay, okay.
This is fantastic. Can you just move your head just for a second or two? Just one.
Excuse me.
No. I'll be good.
Well done.
All done? It's their decision in the end. Like, they're just making this decision where they could leave us here. They're just making that decision to be like, there's plenty of room. That's what I mean by they're making that decision. Like, they're just trying to be unaccommodating.
Anita was on trial.
Yeah.
It was months. We were in the other courthouse. They didn't mind at all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the parking lot is like so small.
We have tons of space here. Like, are you kidding? Like, they're just being anal at this point. They're just trying to cause like resentment almost, right? Like, to discourage us. Like, you know, don't come. Like, nothing's gonna change. Just do the online thing. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
And what are we doing?
I almost feel like we need to stay.
Yeah. I know.
To make it a statement. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get all of us out individually? You're going to ticket us for protesting here?
Well,
like,
especially the point, like, it's one thing to go to the sidewalk, but another thing to tell us to move our cars.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking. I was like, where do I put my car?
We pay taxes, right? Like,
Yeah.
Isn't this from our taxes?
Yes, exactly. What the hell?
Private property.
Exactly. This is the money from our taxes and we have to move our cars.
This is our tax money.
Like, it's very partial what they're doing right now. I wonder what the cops are going to say. Is that what they're doing? They're getting the police officer? Oh no, sorry, they're still recording, Mark. Oh, with the guy, yeah. So I was watching the camera and I could see the cop in their view and I'm like, what? They're going to ask the police officer. How are you, by the way?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh, good to see you.
I wanted to give you a hug at the Animal Rights March, but our path just diverged very quickly and there was so many people.
It was good though.
It was good, yeah. If only all of the people that showed up at that march would show up at events.
Yeah, I know. A lot of them show up just once a year.
I know, it's like, come on, it's not your once a year fucking check off. Yeah, seriously. Or same for me and my family, we would only go to church on Christmas until they finally decided, you know what, why are we even doing that? Like, did you go to midnight mass? Yes, always, for years. We would fight my mom on it for years. And eventually she gave up. She's like, you know what, it is kind of hypocritical once a year, like, what does it really change?
Have you been working out?
Always. Fuck, always. To the point where I had to go get acupuncture in my foot and my guy was like, you need to stay off your foot for 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? Are you insane? Like, I do 4 lives a week and that's never mind the boxing, the dancing, like, what? He's like, you're gonna pay me a lot of money. I'm like, as long as you can keep me doing my activities, we're good.
Once you get the habit.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
It's
What
hard
about
to
you?
get
You
there.
were working
I
out for a
started.
bit. I know you were getting. Join my membership. To work out with us every week. It's not like.
I started going to the gym, but
whatever. You just need
I wanna
basic stuff.
I mean, I want to get to a point where even if whoever I do it with, you know, some people just do like you, like you wake up like.
But it's also accountability. So say, for example, the members that have joined my membership, we know that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12 o'clock, we work out for 45 minutes, we meditate for 15 minutes. And a lot of the people don't show up on the Sunday evening, the compassion talk and stretch. But they show up for the most part Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right? So it's like, and then you know that other people are gonna come. You know that I'm gonna be there. You know I'm gonna call you out if you show up. You know that, like, all of those things, right? So it makes you want to come. Eventually you're like, okay, someone else wants me to be there. You're not just doing it for yourself, right? In the end, you're the one benefiting from it. But at least you have a group of people there to help you and keep you accountable and motivate you to, like, show up, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But
also, like, for some people,
I was just wondering what was happening here.
for some people, it's like, you know, you wake up, you have breakfast. They think of workout like that.
Yeah.
It is a must.
Yeah, it becomes a habit. You have to develop, and habit is only developed through consistency.
Exactly, like drinking water is a habit, like you need it. So
Yeah.
for them, it's very.
Yeah. But you know what? Even people don't even drink enough water. So, like, there's the most basic thing that's free for us. People can't even do
The
it.
thing with workout is you also your diet
Release
is good.
endorphin. Not even. There's people that work out and are not eating well. Hey, when I was a martial artist and I was diagnosed with MS, I was eating shit. That's why. Like, I looked healthy because I was working out all the time, but I was so Like from the inside out, I was rotting, Varun. That's the difference.
Hi, I'm Fern. Hi.
Yes, I know. We've met a few
hi.
times.
You've recorded all. Our
Yeah.
sound guy got sick, and now he's calling another guy
Oh,
to come
okay.
in place. So I'm like freaked out, but you got all that.
I've
right?
got all that, and I was gonna
how's
come
the
see
sa-
this
how's
actually.
How's your sound on
It's
this?
pretty good. I don't have a mic, but you're at least gonna get everything. Yeah.
Can I get your?
She's the one who recorded Regan. She's the one who
The interview.
Regan.
Who did the interview with Regan? Can I get
You're
someone?
the one that did that interview.
Yeah. With the same
oh
camera.
My God,
With the same
that was
camera.
phenomenal. Can I get your
For sure,
your
Mich-
email? Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get someone to hold this because I'm gonna go record Mark do that. Give
Yes,
me
please.
Can
Oh
you
my
grab that,
God.
Varun? Give me 5 seconds,
Yeah,
okay? And I'll give you everything.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that. I think the way I and the police service have managed this has been measured. I think we've given you all the information that we can.
Yeah.
And the request has been made by the lawful owners of the property in the building to leave. From that point on, it's out of our hands, really.
Yeah.
We have to just go.
We have to do your job according to the law.
Are people going to adhere to that or not? And then we have to make our decisions based on what the behavior of those gathered here.
Right. But
is then going to be.
as always, as a professional, you will most certainly make a judgment call whether you are moving forward with a fine to someone or you're finding.
I'll say this: under the Trespass to Property Act, if there is a refusal to leave when directed, there certainly could be arrests made and tickets issued under that piece of legislation.
Okay.
I think it's only fair and appropriate that everyone knows what the rules are. That's why I wanted to connect with this young man right off the bat.
Okay.
Who's here? What is your plans?
All right, we'll make
and
sure.
And then I just wanted to get back to him and others through him the position of the city. And I think I've done that. So.
Okay.
Who are the owners of this building? Sorry.
The city of Burlington, municipality.
Oh,
owns the
okay.
building, and the police officers are providing security protection for everybody. And pardon me?
I'm just gonna let everybody else.
Yeah. And they've been instructed by the city to ask us to leave the property.
Interesting. How did the city get
By the
wind?
mayor, like me?
Like, how did they even get wind that we were here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the information, so we need to know everybody else is informed. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right. So what he said.
Well, it took 4 of them, but yeah.
I know. I needed to ask the
Fucking
question.
batons and everything. Yeah.
I heard something, so I asked him the question. I heard that we were asked to leave the property. He confirmed that direction came from the municipality. The city of Burlington has asked us to leave, and our vehicles as well, to get off the property.
Wow.
And it sounded to me like that direction came to him before we even got here.
Yeah, exactly.
That he knew.
Yeah.
So they picked up on it, and they didn't want us here.
Yeah.
So people should be aware of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But do we want
They
to?
all get arrested for trespassing on what is public property for a peaceful demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as
Of your wife's killing.
yeah, I mean, someone was killed. We came to represent her because nobody's representing Regan in that building today. Nobody. It's been expressed to us directly by the Crown that they represent the province of Ontario, and the driver, his lawyer represents him. There's nobody speaking for Regan today, and there's nobody speaking for Regan through this entire process. So that's why we're here. We're speaking for Regan. We're speaking for everyone. Don't forget, if you're going down the road and you see somebody protesting something, they could really be standing there for you. Regan was standing up for everyone's right to protest the day she was killed. If you're upset, take a sign, hit the streets, and take a stand. And she did. And you shouldn't get killed for it. So she was standing there for everybody that day. Not just her own beliefs. She was standing for everyone's right in Canada and the province of Ontario to take a stand when you feel the need. And you should not come into harm's way. We appreciate that the police department is here for our protection as well as anyone in the building, anyone entering the building. But we're a peaceful group of Canadians that just want to stand up and be the voice for our friend who can no longer speak for herself because she was killed. That's the plan. We're going to speak for Regan.
No, I mean like we're not gonna move.
I'm not moving.
We're making a stand. We're definitely making a stand.
Let's all go to jail.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, let's all go to jail together.
Right. We are.
You know what? That's Mayor
I'll go tell
Reed,
everybody.
are you telling me a female mayor?
No, I don't think the mayor would do that.
Well, that's the
mayor
city
did.
of Burlington.
The
Are
mayor's
you
in
telling
charge.
me a
You go to the top.
female mayor?
I think they're using that. I think they're using that
Why don't we
though.
call him mayor?
Because how it? Yeah. Yes. Please do that.
And we can't even be here. We're not disrupting it.
Because you have a good relationship with the
Yeah,
mayor.
yeah. Let's find her.
We know all that, but we need to use.
I'm gonna call her right now.
It's unbelievable.
The city of Burlington.
She's a female mayor. She's the one mayor I like.
Yeah, I was good. And Lori has a good relationship with it because there's no way they're just using it. They're using
Call the
it.
city
But if
of
we get-
Burlington.
This
Why
is
don't
what-
we call the
I
city of
love
Hants? Why do we have to leave?
That's right.
Why?
Yeah.
Do we not pay enough taxes?
Yeah,
Why-
that's another
I
thing
want
too. We're
call-
paying the taxes to be parked here
No, I
right
don't
now.
mind to leave if somebody, and no offense,
I
policemen,
can't even see
but
out of my glasses.
above tells
What's her
me to
number?
go. What's her name?
Go to her thing and I'll call her. I don't-
Maybe
Yeah.
tweet. Let's find out better. Wikipedia. She'd probably be on Wikipedia or home Facebook.
Yeah.
The backdrop.
Let's just look at her
Yeah.
contact
Okay,
number
yeah, get
here.
her contact and we'll give her a call.
Word.
First day for traffic court.
Trying to not.
Yeah.
For the what
Yeah,
they
I know.
call it. Matter.
Here, can you hold this?
Yeah,
for me
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second?
Let's give her a call and see if she answers.
Burlington.
No, I'm not joking. Call this.
I'm going to. We're just getting her number. Do you have her?
Nobody
No, but
nobody
in
inside the
Hamilton you
building.
call 546 city, so I would just.
Here, here.
Oh, here. It's
Here.
probably right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's called.
Yeah, it's calling. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do dance. Excuse me. I'm about to do
I really hope she answers.
I hope so too.
building and bylaw. Does that sound good? City Hall, legal.
This is where Lori's calling the mayor right now.
Do it.
She's not answering though.
No, got a message. I'll
Yeah.
ask her to call me back.
Yeah, like ASAP.
Here we go, the mayor's office. Take more than one call.
The only thing I can't let them do is tow my car. Because I have to go to work in like less than
Well,
2
we
hours.
could go over there, but
Oh, I'm willing to make a stand. I just don't
Yeah.
want them to take my car. That's the only thing. Wow, it's taking forever just to get to voicemail,
Yeah,
eh?
she's-
Holy shoot. She's talking forever, isn't she?
yeah.
Is anyone on Twitter?
I'm not.
Is anyone on Twitter?
Oh yeah, that's smart.
She's actually quite active on Twitter. Marion.
Yeah, Lori's calling her right now.
Well, we can get more people called.
But yes, if we
More
can,
people call.
we could call, tweet her. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do it too. As
Yeah.
soon as you get the
We'll do it.
voicemail there,
Yeah.
I'll...
Hello, this is Lori Croonin. I'm at the courthouse here in Burlington. I'm with Mark Powell, Regan Russell's husband, and we're here to peacefully protest the charges against the driver that killed her. And we have a bunch of police officers here all telling us to leave, that we have no right to peacefully protest here at the courthouse, and to remove our cars from the parking lot. And the parking lot is like practically empty, so there's some disconnect here. And they've told us that it was the city of Burlington that told them to do this. So please call me right back. This is a violation of our human rights. 289-259-6334. That's Lori Croonin, 289-259-6334. Please call us right back. Thank you.
Nice. Well said,
So
though.
I think we all need to. I think we all
Call.
need to call the mayor. I just left her a message. Can we all call?
Yeah.
And tweet and do whatever. Okay. So I
Get Jenny to tweet.
Yeah, let's all get behind the banner.
It's fucking powerful. Take a lot of, take the,
one of this, Mark. You're going there.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I was just getting you organized. Do you want me to try and put that over my head?
Maybe I could try that.
Do you want to grab this one and I'll grab that one?
Okay.
I'll, here. Just get back. You're gonna do a reel, aren't you? Go, Jenny, go!
I don't understand the difference between TikTok and Instagram videos.
Oh, reels are just good. They're great.
Yeah, they go
For your algorithm and stuff.
Yeah.
The world is watching!
Show us the video!
Show us the video!
Justice for Regan Russell!
Justice for Regan Russell!
I'll do one.
The world is watching!
The world is watching!
Show us the video!
Show us the video!
Justice for Regan Russell!
Justice for Regan Russell!
There it is. That's the paddy wagon.
Oh. Just get breeze over everything.
Did you get some counseling?
Yeah, we did all. There was 6 of us, and we all did counseling for like a few months. It was very helpful. Grief counseling and stuff like that, and just like the whole, just the grief, but also this bullshit that that because she's an activist, her life doesn't matter somehow. I mean, like look at this, like asking us to leave.
Yeah.
Like asking a widower to leave.
Yeah.
When the person that killed his wife.
Yeah.
Is on trial. Like
Yeah.
a peaceful protest holding signs.
Yeah. I know.
Right? Like what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
We see it all the time. Like, we all watch the news, people die, and then the family is at the courthouse, and the police are supportive and everything.
Exactly.
What's different with this?
Yeah, where's the consistency?
Exactly. The police are usually, supportive of victims, right? But except this victim. Because this victim, this is very inconvenient for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they take, the first thing the cop said when they came to the scene after she died was, "We didn't know you were here. We didn't know you were," like he was trying to like make sure that because before that the police were actually coming and helping keep
they were
everyone
helping.
safe.
Yes,
if they were there that day, Regan would still be alive.
Yeah,
Do you think
100%.
the guy's going to run her over while the police are standing there?
100%.
Right?
But wasn't there a police officer sitting there and then she left?
Yeah.
She came out of her car. She didn't even. She stopped her car. She goes, "You guys okay?" And at the time, we were fine.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Okay, see you later." And then she left. Right. So I mean, I don't know if it was her call. It wasn't probably her call. It was probably her.
Someone was saying she got a call that there was a stabbing somewhere and she left. That's what I kind of heard.
Okay.
But regardless, though, it's like you would think that the next day that Bill 156 was passed, not yet in effect, but passed, you would think there'd be more reinforcement there to make sure that, like, exactly, the truck drivers aren't going wild. And
it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Because before, before we've been doing it for years, no kind of support whatsoever.
Exactly.
And then one day, it was actually my 50th birthday, a cop, was all like, and threw me into the gates. He told me to go on the sidewalk, right? And I said, we're gonna stop this truck first. We're gonna bear witness.
Yeah.
And then he pushed me onto the sidewalk, right? And then as soon as I got on the sidewalk, the truck passed. He used all his might and he threw me into the gate. I had to go to the hospital.
Is that recorded? Because I saw
Yeah, it's recorded. It's all recorded.
Wow.
There was an activist behind me. She got hurt. We both had to go to her doctor was afraid of kidney damage. Like that's how it forced. And we were out of. So after that, it looked bad because the videos went, kind of got out there.
Yeah, viral. And
He got away with it. Well, then a few weeks later, I get a call from the Halton Police. We should get together and see how we can help you be safe.
course.
Was like the timing was like
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you never cared before, but now that you see a cop.
yeah. Now that there's pressure on you and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So then Anita and I and then Sabrina from New Wave Activism, we all went to the police department. We were talking with the police on how we can do this safely. They started sending 2 police officers to vigils to make sure everything was safe.
that we're assisting.
And they were like trying to work with the Fearmans, the trucking company, all this kind of stuff. Wheels were in motion. They were supportive. They're like, maybe what we can do is like we can use this lane. It was all
Yeah.
And then Bill 156 came about.
Oh, yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be illegal.
Yeah.
So our safety that day,
Doesn't
as soon as
matter.
so in a way, Bill 156 killed Regan.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, we would still probably have police support or whatever. That driver wouldn't have thought, like it says in there, like you can use force.
Yeah.
Like why would
exactly.
you put in there that you can use force against activists?
Yeah.
You can say it's against the law or whatever, but why would you say the trucker can use force? So anyways, I mean, it was, so they were actually helping us, and then as soon as Bill 156 came about, they were like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And we were on our own. And then that day, a police officer did come.
Yeah.
It was probably about 15 minutes before Regan got killed.
Wow.
And said, are you guys okay? And we're like, yeah, because at the time
Yeah,
we were.
of
I was
course.
actually in front of a truck at that moment, and I was holding my sign, and the trucker, like most truckers, just stopped.
Yeah.
He didn't want to kill us.
No, exactly.
Right?
Out of the ordinary.
And it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes of your times. Is that really too much to ask?
Exactly. And after we always move out of the way, the truckers always, like 90% of the time, they just kind of gingerly go in.
Yes.
Because they don't want to hurt anyone.
Of course
they don't want to hurt
not.
people. They don't want to be responsible for,
No, exactly.
But I mean, that wasn't the case with this driver. Like,
And
I
that
mean,
just
he
makes-
had no reason to. She should have went home that day.
Exactly.
It wasn't careless.
Exactly.
He was
It
stopped.
wasn't careless.
He
no.
gunned it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now maybe something happened in that truck that made him gun it. I don't know. No one's been told. Right?
But and the fact that like you know, for 2.5 years before that this was being done, it's not like it happened. It's not like this was the first time, right? And all of a sudden it's like, it's like, no, we have experience. We know every driver that comes to this facility knows
The 20 drivers before that morning all knew.
Like what?
Right?
Exactly.
And it's not like he didn't know. It wasn't like he came around the corner and she surprised him.
Exactly.
He stopped.
Exactly.
We were bearing witness.
Exactly. Yeah.
How does anyone run over an adult human and then keep going and drag her body? Unless you're inhumane, right? And then not even get out of the cab to see if she's okay.
Yeah. That's exactly Donna just mentioned. She was like, any normal human that would hurt another person, not know if they took their, like whatever, you would come out of your vehicle. You would come and check.
I'm even wondering if I'm the only one that called 911. Did they even call 911?
Probably not. Probably not.
The security guys?
Yeah. Like that
I
is
don't
not your
know.
first
I
reaction
don't
if
even
someone's
know.
in an accident, you call 911. It's just ridiculous.
I know, I just remember being told that the security guys were screaming at the truck driver to stop. Like, are you fucking, because he dragged her, right?
Yes.
Like, and then again, it's like we're talking about like, yeah, it has to have been intention because everyone knows that at Fearman's you stop for 2 minutes. You're giving 2 minutes of respect, of compassion. And exactly like we were just talking, kind of like what Gabriel hit at the Animal Rights March.
Yeah.
Imagine someone that sees death like that. Like the truck drivers have to prod the animals in the trucks. They have to get them out. They have to do all that. So they're a part of that industry. Like they're seeing, they're not just like people when they're like, but it's just a truck driver. It's like, no, he actually is.
Realize that they have to offer.
Yes, they actually.
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
Some of them are just truckers, but some of them do.
Oh, okay. So I knew more of the ones that do, that have to load them, take them off. So it's like, and even then though, when you're carrying, as they would say, livestock in your vehicle, and you see this every day, you're bringing babies to their death every day. How can you possibly be kind? Like imagine after that, it's like Gabe was hitting people that work in slaughterhouses that are seeing death and violence every single day. What do you think happens when they go home after? They're kind to their wife and kids? They've sort of...
I wonder how many of them have actually been inside the slaughterhouse to see what happens once they drop off the...
Many farmers say they don't go in.
Yeah.
They just drop them off. They don't go in.
Yeah, but you still know. It's like us giving them water before their death. Like you cry, you don't. Yeah, but that's the thing. You're trying to find mechanisms maybe to block it out. But at the end of the day, how can you go from that amount of violence and then all of a sudden operate from a space of compassion?
It's within. It's within you.
The compassion?
No, I mean all that.
The death and the violence and the 100%.
So you try and shut it down, and it starts with a D, where you compartmentalize.
Yeah.
But we're humans, so that crosses over.
Exactly.
So what's going to trigger it?
Exactly.
And it is proven statistically.
Yeah, it is.
What rape, drug abuse, alcoholism.
Around slaughterhouses and stuff too. Just around that space, not even just the workers that work there, just around that space because of the negative energy, right? The violence, the blood, the death. Like, how can you possibly be exposed to that on a daily basis and then, you know, think that it's not okay to just run someone over? Do you know what I mean? Like,
especially when the bill just passed and it says you can use force.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
what was in this guy's mind? I don't know. But what's scary, the scariest of all of it, is that the cops charged him with a traffic violation. Right?
Yeah.
And they're getting away with that.
Yeah. And they're keeping proof away from us.
Yes.
They're keeping proof. They're not releasing the video.
They didn't
They're
give
not
him like, you just killed someone you've been staring at for 5 minutes, right? You just killed someone and you dragged them. And you didn't even get out of your cab. I think you need a breathalyzer or something. Don't you think?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. They interviewed us all like matter of fact. Never asked us again any questions afterwards. Never asked us follow-up questions or anything. Have the history. I have a report with the OIPRD of a guy trying to kill me, and I'm actually going to give it to Josh because the security guards, when I even say in the report, yes, he tried to run her over, and the police basically kind of sure. And I actually did I filed the complaint against the police officer because she was laughing, basically kind of saying it was my fault. Caught her laughing with the truck driver, right? Wow. So I had a complaint with him saying my life, I almost got killed, regardless if you believe in what I do or not. You can't. Nobody deserves to die because they're protesting.
Yeah.
Right?
How are you laughing about this?
You make them feel guilty for having bacon on their sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they obviously don't take it serious, right? And then I filed the complaint, and even the OIPRD didn't do anything to this police officer. Basically, well, you know, he shouldn't be there. So, Michelle, if you're in the wrong place, people
it's
have
my
the right
fault,
to kill
apparently.
you.
It's my fault.
It's someone can run you over and kill you.
Yeah.
And use their vehicle to kill you because you shouldn't be there. Like, I mean, if someone comes into my house and robs my house and I decide to kill them, that's wrong. And I should go to jail for it. I have no right to do that. So regardless of where we are or whatever, I mean, you don't have a right to kill someone.
And even the situation that you're giving, it's actually someone that's intruding, coming into your space, trying to potentially take your own life.
Exactly.
Like, you are more in a position of defense, whereas in this case, a kick-ass truck like that with the loaded going into slaughter, like what did you have to defend against this person in front of you? Like, like what are you doing? What's going through your mind, right? Like,
Oh, it's fucked up.
it is. It really is. And the fact that we all have to be here today, that we have to be here.
Disgusting.
That no one was here to represent her, that they're like, you know, it was almost like a joke when the guy went to talk to Joshua and he was like, oh, you know it's online, right?
Yeah.
It's like, he goes, yeah, well, we know that it's online, but you haven't told us anything before this until we show up here to tell us this, right?
Yes.
So how about,
she said that. You know it's online.
Yeah.
Like, basically, go home.
So how about just waste our time? Like, how about, and again, they didn't give him this information. He was like, do you know that it's not even happening today? He was like, yeah, you told me that today.
Yes.
Like,
oh, it's not happening today.
No, he said it's not even happening, and
I
if
thought
it
was happening at 1:30.
and then he said it's not happening today, but if it does, it'll be online. That's what he said. So it's like, if it does, what does that even mean? Like, we don't even know. Like, you're still not even giving us information.
So I can let your family know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Plain dumb make you a professional officer.
Yeah.
Or provincial court that we pay for. We pay
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
You know, this is our building and our service.
Our money in there.
Well, yours. I live in Toronto, so we give those guys money here.
I'm Oakville. I'm kind of like half and half border.
In Oakville. I like Hamilton, but Hamilton, yes.
We're all around the GTA. No one's actually in Burlington, but anyway. No,
That's okay. We all
I know. But we're still paying taxes, okay? Well, I guess they're not going to be escorting us out. The worst part is this was from 8:30 to 11, and I have to leave at 11 on the dot.
I'm getting close to that.
Yeah, because I have to work. We know you're here with us. We know it.
And then the staff came out and started assaulting us all. Like one guy had a bloodied nose, one of our protesters had a bloodied nose. One of the staff was grabbing their chain around my neck, and I was basically losing consciousness. And then Regan came from behind to the woman. She pulled down the woman's hat, and this kind of confused her a bit, and she loosened the grip on the chain. So thank you, Regan.
And now this place is it's shut down. It's been completely shut down.
Yeah.
And all the dogs, do you know if they've been like
We're trying to find the dogs right now. We know that they were removed on Thursday. We have confirmed that through visual.
Wow.
Ourselves.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so we need to find the dogs.
Tell them what you did when you went up there.
Yeah.
Tell them the story.
Okay, so I visited last night just to confirm that the dogs were gone. I took video. I have evidence that the area where the dogs were was completely empty. They put barbed wire up, they put tarps up, they put fences up, but you know what? You can't hide. You can't hide crimes. You know, the truth will come out.
You can't hide from Jenny.
What would this have meant to Regan if she knew this? Talk to Jenny about this.
Because Regan would be so thrilled. It would be one of those jump off the couch moments. This would be like when she was watching the Academy Awards and she was jumping up and down when Joaquin Phoenix was speaking. It's one of those moments at home to find out that the dogs were removed. It meant that generally doing something will do some good, and it did. And we only know what Jenny found out, that there were Ontario trucks marked from the government that removed the dogs. We're hoping they're safe. We'll find out more as time goes on. But to Regan, this would have been everything. Another success story. That making, getting out the Bristol board and the magic marker, it works. And sometimes crossing the line onto someone's property when there's some abuse happening works, human or animal. You wouldn't hold back. If you saw something happening to a human being on the other side of a fence, you'd jump the fence. And no one would think anything of it. But all of a sudden it's, oh, you can't do that. It's a legitimate industry. Get off my property? That doesn't fly with me. Somehow it flies with Doug Ford, though. He says, hey, Bill 156 keeps them all off the property from now on. Everybody happy? No, we're not. Crimes are being committed, and they can't be reported on. So good for Jenny, good for Regan, and good for everyone that got out there and jumped over that fence, crossed the line, make it known. I think it's terrific, and I think Regan would have found it, well, fantastic, and she'd be giving Jenny a hug right now.
I felt apprentice last night as I was going in. I was shimmying, I was like completely soaked. I was shimmying through, like bogs and ponds and under barbed wire fences.
There, was you doing that before? She was there again.
She was there. She was right there.
A couple of nights ago, just after an evening where we had discussions about today, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, her mother was awakened by a light that came on in the living room. They're in a bungalow lifestyle, so she went to the living room and a table lamp was on. But it's a lamp they never use. And you have to get up there and turn it on. It's tricky. They never use it. The light was on and Regan's picture's underneath it.
Giving me chills.
And it was just that night that we had discussions about what we were going to do today. It was like Regan was saying, go for it. Or say hi to Jenny when you're there. I don't know. But,
thank her for me.
Yeah.
I'd say hello to Fern. Like, Regan and Fern took a trip to a Quebec dog sled operation too. which we probably can't even talk about right now.
Oh, we'll keep bumping her up then. What am I doing?
I could have done it without me.
No, that whole covert operation, the midnight run, Thelma and Louise.
Every time she talked about you, it always started, me and my friend Fern. You know, she was just so like, my friend Fern.
And it's interesting because
Okay, I was scared out of my tree. I was shaking and I was ready to turn back.
Yeah.
And Regan said,
Yeah.
Today reminded me of my first protest.
guys, we have to like this.
Oh, yeah.
We can like,
Right, so let's get some
I
stuff.
couldn't have done it
at the
without
end.
you guys.
Josh, what did it remind you of?
Mhm.
Come on.
Oh, we did. It was a petting zoo
Huh?
on Lock Street. They had a petting zoo, and we all stood out front. The cops told us to leave, and we just no. So then we were handing out pamphlets, right?
Joshua printed some
Yeah.
basic messages, and we went back to the festival and stood there.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't let us hand them out, so we had to stand there with them. We stood there the whole, and then they removed the petting zoo. Right, by the end of the next day, it was gone. They weren't coming back next year. Yeah, it was sad, but no, it's the same as today. You know, they just walk up, they try to tell you what to do, and sometimes you just got to say, well, I don't know.
nope.
No.
hey guys, I know that Lori has to leave soon. So we gather around the way you did before we CCTV here and get Mark and Lori on camera.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.